Hello guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Miracle, Mimi for short. Yes guys, and I'm wishing you guys a happy new year and prosperous year. If this is the first time you see my beautiful face, welcome. So our next video is from Officer Tantum, and it says why black men chooses white women over black women. Wow. Let's check this video out. And this video is some kind of an old video from Officer Stanton, and he looks so young there. Yeah, he looks so very young. Let's check it out.
What's going on, y'all? I thought I'd make a video. I was thinking about this this morning when I woke up. I mean, I think about this all the time, but I was thinking about it heavily this morning because a lot of people have initiated discussions with me about this. Obviously, I have my own personal thoughts and experiences with this certain subject, but it came up and it keeps coming up time and time again about why do black men date white women. Now, I'm gonna tell you what. Over time, I've noticed that it is it's something that's trending more than it used to, 20 years ago or whatever. From my perspective, from my opinion, and what I've seen personally, and what I like to say about it is that it has more to do with culture than it does race. Okay, and I can say some of these things because I have personal firsthand experience. And I start with just a little background about me. I grew up in Fort Worth, Texas, predominantly all African American community for most of my life. In the African American communities, there are certain things that you do and you do not do.
Yeah, I agree with you.
For lack of a better terms,
yeah.
Certain things you do, you lose your race card, you lose your black card. And I hate to say it, but it's reality. We got to be transparent and honest. It's reality. So growing up, my sense of reality and relationships was based on what I saw predominantly. What I saw in my own personal life as far as my parental relationships and different things like that. So I can say this, and I'm not saying this is static and this is consistent with every single African American person on planet Earth. It's not. I'm not saying that. It's my own personal experiences with what I saw. Every black woman, and growing up from the age, from when I was born to from when I started dating to when I turned like 22. I had never dated a woman who wasn't African American. Never dated outside my race. And a lot of it was because that's a lot of what I was exposed to in our black community. And also it was stigmatized. You date anything outside of black, you will sell out, so on and so forth. So anyway, but I have to say every single African American female that I dated either didn't know their dad or didn't have a good relationship with their dad, was in a single parent home, or
Well, guys, like me, I feel that it's not the color of your skin that people don't like. Yes, sometimes it's your attitude and behavior, nothing more, nothing less, and it depends on if the white lady or the white man, it suits you. You guys are agreeing on things. You guys have common things together. You guys agree on things. You guys see life in another perspective apart from your races or your color. I think you are good to go. That's just it for me.
representation of the way the family structure should be.
Let's check it out.
So I have to say, but that was normal to me. My parents aren't together. Although my dad has been in my life the whole time, both my parents are very active, but they weren't together. So growing up, that's what I thought was normal. Fast forward that to when I went to college. Now going to college opened my eyes to a lot of things, because to be quite honest, when you look at the demographic of most major universities, you're going to see that there is a overwhelming number of white people in comparison to where I grew up at, where you never saw white people unless they were a teacher at your school or they the police. And going to college is a huge culture shock because you are now the minority. Now everything in life is not Afrocentric. It's not from an African American perspective, and you have to now figure out how that applies to your life. So, long story short, I got to college, and a lot of myths start being unveiled. Because growing up, you don't date white women. You bring a white woman home, or you date a white woman. And I'm not saying this is my parents. This is society. This is peers. You date a white woman, you're a sellout. You get clowned. They talk bad about you. Every name in the book. You want to be white, whatever the case may be. So, and that white women didn't have good bodies. They didn't have no rhythm. And you can't bring them home. That was stigmatized in a lot of young black men growing up. It was stigmatized in me growing up. Got to college, found out that those things were in large part a myth. But the biggest thing and the most crucial point that I'm trying to make here is that when I got to college, I started seeing things that I never thought of before. My understanding of the world started changing. It sounds funny because I never heard of sushi before I went to college. I didn't know what sushi was. Somebody mentioned it to me. I'm like, what's sushi? I never heard of that. I never knew anybody that went on a hike before. Never heard of hiking as much. It wasn't something that black people never did. From my perspective, there's a lot of other things I never thought of before. Organic food. Never heard of organic food growing up. Nobody ever ate organic food. I remember going to the grocery store, and the rare times I saw organic food, I thought something was wrong with it. I thought it was the abnormal food. I thought the normal food was the stuff that don't have the labels on it, and then the stuff that said organic was some kind of weird food, some kind of stuff that got hormones in it or something crazy. That's why they charge more for it. That's what life was like for me. That's what reality was. And I got to college, and I started being introduced to these different aspects of life, different avenues of life that I didn't know about. And so therefore my mindset towards dating and women started changing, because now I realized, I really like sushi. I think hiking is a great idea. I love hiking. I love exercise. Organic food obviously is better for you. I really want to eat organic. So then the funny thing is that now when your dating pool starts to be evaluated, now white women
is just so relatable, so very
become
relatable.
more of the prototype for what I wanted. And I'm not saying it's every white woman is like that, every black woman is not like that. What I'm saying is that that's kind of happens to you when you go to college based on a demographic and or experiencing and exposure to different realities. So with that being said, that's what I started seeing. And I started realizing that single parent homes weren't normal. I started realizing that not knowing your dad ain't normal. And I start seeing situations and cultural situations where I was exposed to women who knew how to treat a man, because mom and dad was married her whole life, and she knew how to be ladylike, how to be compassionate, how to be loving, and different things that I think that some cultural dynamics hinder people from being exposed to and experiencing. And so that became attractive. That became a necessity. I wanted to start over. I wanted to have a life that I didn't have. I wanted to be exposed to things that I didn't have. I wanted to be exposed to family dinners that I didn't have. And the grandma and grandpa been together, mom and daddy been together, everybody in the same family, everybody got the same kids. It becomes appealing to young African American men who come into college and be exposed to a life that they could not have previously, and that they were not exposed to. So now, and again, I want to preface that it's more about culture and less about race. And so you get indulged in this culture, and you realize that this culture is something that you think is better for you. It's more conducive to your success and your happiness. And then you never go back. You never go back, and that is now the standard. And it typically ends up being more white women. Now, for me, obviously, and most black people I know, that race don't mean anything, but that cultural dynamic does. And what happens is there's a certain group of people primarily fall in that cultural dynamic. And then there's a certain group of people that fall in the previous cultural dynamic. And that stimulates the dating pool and certain young men who decide to date outside of their race. So hopefully I said that. That's a lot. That's a mouthful. So hopefully I was able to articulate it in its totality to get the clear understanding. But that's why I think young black men that people see from the outside end up dating white women more often than we've seen in the past. And you see it more often in young men going off to college at these major universities. Because I can say right now, a lot of my friends that I knew when we were younger would never date outside our race. A lot of my friends are now engaged to and are married to women outside of the race, primarily white women. So not to try to make this a racial thing, but I just wanted to kind of open up some people's understanding to the dynamic and give a perspective from my perspective. So and if you fast forward and you catching at the end, pretty much the bottom line is what I'm saying is that a lot of black men date white women because of cultural dynamics. A lot of it has to do with the structure, the family structure, and other opportunities and exposures that young men begin to see at a later age once they get exposed through college or other professional experiences. So thank you guys for watching this video. I know it's long, but I had a lot to talk about. Hopefully you watch the whole thing. If not, skip through it. You'll catch some bits and pieces. Appreciate y'all watching. Again, this is Brandon Tatum, and I'll see y'all next time.
Wow, guys, like me, what I just have to say of all these things, or what I have to say is that if you love someone, nothing should come in between you and that person, irrespective of your race, your color, your hair, your ears, your nose, your eyes. Like, I don't get it. Follow your heart. Anything your heart tells you to do, you follow it. So far as your heart agrees for the two of you should stay together, for the two of you should love each other, no matter whether the whites are good, the blacks are good, the pink are good, the yellow are good, the blue are good. That should not be your concern. Your concern is your partner, because marriage is for better, for worse. Marriage is a prison. Once you have entered, no coming out. So you have to choose someone that you know you can do your forever with, someone that you know you can sacrifice everything for, someone that you know you really, really love, irrespective of the race, irrespective of the color. Nothing should just stop it. Like, I just love everything that Officer Tantum said, because everything is just so relatable. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Let me know if you prefer a white woman or a black woman, or you prefer a white man or a black man. To me, anywhere I find love, if I find love in a white man, if I find love in a black man, if I find love in any man, so far as we agree on something, so far as our hearts beat together, so far as the way you see life is actually good, and so far as you want to walk in the way of God, the way of righteousness, and you are being the man God asks you to be, I'm good to go. That's just it. Have a nice day, guys. Bye bye.